Hey guys, Senior Thesis Bart, here with my iZombie episodes 8 and 9 review, The Hurt Stalker and Cape Town. So these, like most iZombie episodes, are kind of individuals with the overplot is individual and the subplot is moving through. And so The Hurt Stalker is when Liv decides to just help Babineau gets in trouble because an ex-girlfriend of his dies using a gun that was stolen from him, and Liv decides to eat the woman's brains to figure out why. Unfortunately, the woman was an unhinged stalker, and so Liv is going full stalking mode, and that leads into her love life with Major that they just kind of redid. So he's already on the rocks because she's was crazy gothic, totally fatalistic last episode. And so in this episode, she's going through stuff, trying to figure out who he talks to, every girl he's talked to, like within the past more or less year or so, and who everyone is. And it's funny and crazy. And she gets her roommates, I forget her name, but her alias is Greta, I believe. Greta's number in there, and she's going through and it's like, who is this? Why is she texting, whatnot? And she can't just live with the fact that Major's like, she was more or less a booty call when we weren't dating, and it's over now, and I haven't texted her since we got back together. And she sees it safe and wants him to open it, and he doesn't want to open it because it holds his zombie hunting materials. In the end, they kind of have a heart-to-heart talk where it's like, I don't know if this is you, I don't know if this is the brains, what's going on? And Liv steals the phone and starts texting Greta to see if she can find out who it is. That leads into the next episode, Cape Town, where Major is very, very upset about this, and he doesn't know what to do, so he kind of storms off, and Liv is dealing with the repercussions of this. But on another case, she eats the brains of a teacher slash vigilante or vigilante wannabe. So it's a really kind of meta way to poke humor at the whole superhero genre right now. Funny episode. It turns out that one of the other major antagonists, Stacy Boss, aka Mr. Boss, had been smuggling some really heavy duty guns onto the streets, or was about to, and Liv wanted to stop him. Unfortunately, she goes full on vigilante and ends up getting knocked out. And it turns out there was a damsel in distress there. The person she was trying to save was actually the person who killed the teacher. And so Liv gets nearly knocked out, and the teacher gets killed by Mr. Boss, who comes to save her. And then while she's knocked out, he cleans up the whole area, so she has no incriminating evidence on him. The gun shipments are off on the streets, more or less, and she gets suspended from the police force because she's been acting on her own and acting erratically. Or she wasn't on the police force, but Babineau stops requesting for help because he's like, I've been treating you like a cop when you're not. That's my bad, and I need to stop working with you. On the flip side, Major has to take down what turns out to be a zombie hooker, and so she was kind of like a high class call girl in real life, and she didn't mind that, but then she gets turned into a zombie and literally had to she had to trade out sex for food, sex for brains, and she hated her life and was incredibly suicidal. So she has this really heart-to-heart talk with Major, who's like, I'm actually not killing the zombies. I'm putting them in freezers until there's a cure and we can develop it, and then I'll give it to you and your life will be good. And so he learns a little bit more about the zombie perspective. So he does that to Zombie Hooker, and then goes back to Liv and is trying to make peace. And he's like, I understand what you're going through. I understand. I feel, or at least I understand a bit of what you're going through. I feel for you. We can make this work. There will be a cure eventually. And Liv, after just being kicked off the police force, is more or less on the lines of, this will never work. It's not just the brains. I've changed. You've changed. We've all changed. I'm not sure this would work. And so she breaks up with Major. Major's like, I will always believe there's a cure, and leaves. And then lo and behold, the last scene is with Ravi talking. about how the cured zombie rat from the end of the last season, or the back half of the last season, all through this season, just sporadically turned back into a zombie and killed the other rats. And so he's basically saying that the zombie cure they do have, the one that was used on Major and Blaine in the season finale last year, will not be permanent. And so it's going to be scary to see what will happen when and if Major and Blaine turn back into zombies. What's gonna happen there? So I'm excited. I give it a 9 out of 10 just because I love superheroes. And it's a CW show, and the fact that they're making fun of their own little superhero stuff is really fun, and they're just good episodes. So definitely check them out. That's it for this. I'll be doing Supergirl, Flash, and Arrow next, and Senior Thesis Bart signing off.